Can somebody get the second and fourth light switch, please?
Which one?
Second and fourth, they're numbered. 2 and 4. Okay, so yesterday we started drawing the teeth and lips of this guy. So now we were ready to start shading, the fun part.
Oh, the fun part, mine blows.
Alright, so we're going to start with a lighter shade. Now he's got some facial hair, so it's the same process as with the eyelashes and the eyebrows. You want to do hair at the end, because you do not want to accidentally blend that in. So we're going to do some shading where his mustache is a little bit darker. So I'm going to apply some value to that, and then when I'm done shading, I'll go back over it with some hash marks to make the hair stand out. Remember, guys, start off with a clean blending tool. Don't use a dirty blending tool. Can somebody get the door, please? Thank you.
Hey, you're on freeze.
Am I?
I was wondering why you didn't do anything. I was even spending phone. I'll catch up. I'm so glad I took the picture of that.
And his teeth should be the whitest part on his mouth. Don't shade his teeth too much. They're going to have a light shade on them, but just around the edges.
Boom, baby. Why is my mom not using me? You know?
I can't answer that.
That's because you think my mom is not me. Okay, yeah, facial hair, not for me. So, eyebrows, all there. We have to do hair. What? People make them bald. That'd be fun. Yes. Yeah, hey, Miss Mindy. You think Tyler Sledman would give me some art lessons?
I don't know.
He can draw lips. I can.
He's also taken every one of my art classes as well.
Yeah, well, I don't like it that much. I'm just kidding.
Alright, so with the facial hair, it's always best to start off with a sharp pencil. Because if your pencil tip's too wide, you're going to end up with wide little dashes. So it's the same thing as we did with the eyebrows, except for it's short little hashes. It's not long ones. The more you put, the darker that facial hair is going to be. And it's really dark underneath the nose and underneath the chin, or the lip, excuse me, on the chin. What?
When my hairs like connect, like when they hit each other.
Yeah, kind of do them at a different angle each time. If you do different shades of pencil, the lighter ones aren't going to look like they run into the darker ones either.
I just completely did not my artwork. I would rather draw hands than draw mouths. What? I can't even draw hands either. Oh, I can. I'm good at hands. If I have a reference, then I can. Okay, hands like the reference in the phone or the reference in person? Either. If I look at it on my phone, I can do it. That's how I do this now at home. I was going to fix on my phone. I was really small, I mean. I got it. I got it on it. I got it facing.
Just doing lots of little dashes. The thing with facial hair, eyebrows, eyelashes, hair is you can't speed through it, because if you put too many lines at once and you make them way too dark, it's all just going to look like scribbles. So you want to just do short little dashes for the facial hair.
I'm double checking that you're not don't have no facial hair. You said you want us to show the teeth and the bottom teeth. You said you want us to show the bottom teeth,
Like it's just like the little edge, but it's mostly shaded in. So if you don't show them white, it's fine. Just do the best you can.
Hey, Miss Mindy, when I get to the nose on my actual portrait, you're gonna have to help me.
Okay.
Because his is sideways.
Yep, that's fine. Don't mind
The eyes are
helping.
gonna be easy though, because I know how to draw the teeth holes. Well, I do, but it's barely any of it. You gotta show me yours. My guy's a stud. Okay, maybe my hair is less than 5 series. Twilight isn't as realistic. Vampire Diaries you can believe. You know, we can have them. And then we'll watch. But Twilight, no. We don't listen. We just bring stuff.
That's what my husband says.
Have you watched Vampire Diaries?
Yeah.
It makes more sense, don't it?
It does.
It's more logical, like the daylight rings. That just makes sense. These are trash. Why'd you draw those two bottom lines?
Here you go.
What two bottom lines?
The ones that
These?
you like shaded right back. Yes, those two.
Those are chin.
Oh.
Oh.
I have two of the same pencils.
Hmm?
I have two of the same pencils.
You have two of the same pencils?
Yeah, I have two 6Bs.
You have two 6Bs?
And it's like
I have
completely different. Yeah.
Alright, what's that?
one 6B.
I mean, mine was really good.
One 4H, one HP, one 4B.
Oh, I thought there was another room of heat for a second.
And then I got two 2H.
Two 2Hs? Gavin, check your pencils. Are you missing a pencil? You're missing a 2H?
Yeah, I have a 2H, 4H, an HB,
Who did you set by before, Caden?
2B.
I said about Wyatt.
Wyatt, check your pencils. Are you missing a 2H?
And it's at an angle.
How many pencils do you have total?
I have 2, 4, 6, 7.
7. Who's missing a 2H pencil?
I am.
You are? Okay, so Caden's got it. Guys, make sure you do not get your pencils mixed up with each other. Everybody should have 6 pencils. Yep. And they should all be different. And then you should have 3 blending tools.
My blending tools at home are like bigger than this.
Yeah, they go larger.
Yeah, but like I have one like this, and then my other ones are like really big.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I need some new pencils.
Imagine that.
Alright.
Imagine a 16-year-old.
I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to work on this last mouth, and then we're going to move on to hair.
No.
It's the fun stuff.
No.
The what?
Oh, I haven't been drawing.
The hair's not
You know what I do with hair, Miss Smithy? I just draw a bunch of squiggles.
Squiggles.
Squiggles. That's the bunch you want here.
So the trick with hair is the more lines you put, the darker it looks. If you want it to look light, you don't put as many lines, and you also use a lighter shade.
Like, look. I just drew a little stick head. Look at that hair.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So here's the start of one.
Why are you starting? What the heck?
I haven't. This is just the start of one. I'm just showing you.
I was really. Let's go. Right
She's
now.
probably laughing
She
for a
can't
reason.
say it because she's recording. So I thought Miss Smithy. Let's go, Miss Smithy. Me and Miss Smithy are gonna get around someday.
Oh, you love me too much.
Rounds, I thought it was ones.
To your other. Your little tiny one. Other side.
I saw you.
You gotta keep doing
Not
this.
yet. Oh, what happened? Yeah.
Was it Sunny Field?
I'll make you cry.
Yeah. We were.
Hey.
Tomorrow.
Oh.
He'll be like, I'll make you cry. Tomorrow. No, wait, no, we're gonna make you cry today.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're like,
I don't know.
Tomorrow.
and they come back and they're like, we're gonna make you cry today.
What'd they throw?
Tomorrow.
I think of a really good insult.
And
Someone
finally
threw it at
they
us.
say it, they're like,
What? No. She's on
never mind.
And I'll
Wait,
teach
till
you.
tomorrow.
No, I'll
You
make
might
it
say,
hit it
like,
over and
later
aim in the
on
head,
or
but
something.
he
And
hit
they
it
keep
me.
coming and finally
Sorry.
they're like,
See?
I got
What?
one.
Because he did
Your
it.
mom
Has Aaron just
so
confessed to
fat
doing
you
it?
can't even
Okay.
walk.
No, I didn't.
Off
It
the
was
bridge.
already her.
Can you walk off of a bridge?
And then you're like, they're like,
My art set at home.
they're like,
Miss Smithy,
tomorrow I'll make you
What?
with sandpaper.
I'll look around.
Crazy, huh?
Right?
Yeah, or you could just go and get some.
But why did I do that when I bought some?
Yeah, we're on the
It was cheaper for me to buy a package of sandpaper
Yeah,
and cut it up.
You could buy a whole roll of like sandpaper.
Mine like came on like this stick thing and you like tear a piece off.
Yep.
Just like draw 2 1 slides.
That's fine.
Okay, let's move on.
No.
Yes, ma'am. Turn over.
It's like
A lot of
no
people
hair or
still
something.
working.
I'm not working.
All right,
1, 2, 3, 4.
you can always go back. But there's several of you guys are ready to move on, or think you're ready to move on, but just sitting there. So we're going to move on. So let's turn to the hair, everybody.
No.
All right. So the trick with hair
Just draw it.
is to take it section by section. Don't try to draw everything all at once. So we're going to start at the top left. I'm going to start with my lighter shade. Okay?
Which one?
I'm using 2H, but I would use a 4H if I were you guys. I'm just using a darker shade so you guys can see it a little easier.
How are we supposed to copy this if we can't even see all the lines?
Because all the the darker lines are going to have a whole lot of lines and it's going to look almost solid. Okay, because there's lots of shadow.
What about
Alright.
the white ones?
So with the light ones, you're going to start light, and you're just going to make short little hash marks. And I'm looking at the direction that the hair is growing. It doesn't have to be exact.
It's kind of going everywhere.
Yes, it's kind of going everywhere. 'Cause sometimes guys like that tousled look. And I'm just going to go down this one little section right here at first. I'm just doing like the first inch.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, and I'm just drawing little hash marks where I see the hair.
I see hair everywhere.
Okay, I'm looking at the direction of the hair. If it changes direction, I'm changing the direction of my strokes.
Yeah, mine's just
Your hair overlaps. And then I can go to a slightly darker shade.
which would be R2H. Correct.
And then I'm going to start putting more hash marks in those areas that are darker.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know either.
I don't want to.
I just want to. Here's like the easiest part. You can't really mess up. What? What do you mean? You can't really mess up. You can. It's
Unless you
fine.
draw something that's unnatural.
Yeah.
Like if you draw a circle or like a square.
It's literally just tiny lines.
And that's all it is. Shh.
They're
Guys,
all different.
I never.
there's no need to argue. Everybody's got different skill sets. Nobody's at the same level. Do I expect everyone's to look the same?
No.
No. Do I expect it to look exact?
No.
No.
expect it to look good.
Do I expect you to try?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? If you sit there and complain the whole time and say, I can't do this, and don't try, that's when your grade suffers.
No, really.
No, yeah, 8++%.
And then I'm just going to work my way across as I do a section.
Is it stupid to do like the light sections and then go in and do dark?
Nope, that's what I do. I do the lighter sections because it's always easier to go darker than it is to make your lines go lighter. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sketching those lighter areas first, and then
Not by section, I'm just doing like.
do you. If it works better for you to work like as a hole on the hair, you can do that. Just keep in mind when we do our portraits, you guys are going to do them by grid. So you're going to have to pay attention what's in each square. The trick though is do not make too long of lines at first, especially on men's hair or short women's hair or short men's hair, because men can have long hair too. But this is short, shaggy style.
This is the elevator trying not to criticize.
That I'm what?
Trying not to criticize. How you changed your wording.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. She don't look like Taylor.
Just doing little sections at a time. Yeah, and then just keep going darker in those darker areas. Keep adding more hash marks. You don't really blend hair, because if you start to blend the hair, you start to lose the lines. Now, if you want to shade it lightly at first to add some value to it and then add your lines on top, that would be better than you trying to blend your lines, because then you're going to lose the texture of your hair.
Even if you like blend really light.
Even if you blend really light, you're going to start losing that sharpness of those lines. But it's really not necessary to have to blend out your lines if you're putting enough of those lines on top of each other, because it's shading in itself. Like if you look up here, I haven't done any type of blending and it's already looking like a value drawing. I'm just doing lines on top of lines.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yep. And then in those really dark areas, I'm just adding a lot of lines. On the darker areas, you're going to lose the effect of your lines because they're so dark, but your lighter areas should still keep that form. And keep your pencils sharp. If they start to dull out when you're doing the hair, that's when things are going to start to blend together too. Hair is one of the more difficult to get the exact shape. Some people struggle, some people don't. And then teeth. Yeah, teeth can be difficult for a lot of people too.
Yeah, I really do feel like I'm just scribbling that a lot.
Well, and it's kind of out of context too, guys, because you're not seeing the shape of the face, you're not seeing the facial features, so it does look like lines inside of a box, and basically that's what it is. But I just want you guys to get the hang of
Scribbling. Do we have to do the one on the back?
It's the same concept. If you guys want to just go straight to gridding after this, we can.
So does it look like hair?
Yes.
Does mine look like hair so far?
I can't see it because it's falling over. Yes.
No.
Yes.
I was really starting to think like how does it make I could have probably done something.
The thing is if you just do your lines in one direction, you're going to lose the shape of the hair. So you just want to follow the direction of the hair. And that's what makes it look more like hair.
Hair doesn't fall in one direction.
It does not. It goes in different directions.
How do you spell curly hair?
It's the same thing, except you follow the curve of the hair. It's more difficult.
Just ask.
Yeah, same process.
I don't know where I got that one.
Kindergarten, that
Huh? If we go,
Oh, yeah.
I could do this.
You can.
I know I can do it.